Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative Eddy Kool. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. Oh, it's Tuesday, and you know what time it is. Time once again for your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. Yeah, I had to steal that one real quick.
Yeah.
Yep, it's your boy Eddy Kool, aka the HOC up in this thing. Where we at? 267, 268 episode wise, somewhere along there?
As soon as you started shouting out numbers, I done forgot. I put it in.
You know
which one of them numbers I used?
It sound about
Choices 268. 268. That work.
I be damn. I was supposed to episode 268 of the Sports Bros Podcast. I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm alive, and that's all I can ask for. All right. With that being said, enough of my incoherent rambling. Not only do I have one, but I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. And I also recommend don't sleep on the couch because your shoulder will be jacked up if you do. Introducing first, the almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? I asked that question, and what's happening in the world today? We got a lot to talk about, especially with football, as the world has been turned upside down. What happened this weekend? What happened? We're about to get into it. I'm not even going to go ahead and introduce the other guy because it takes a lot longer for you to introduce him. And then we're just going to jump into it because, man, there's so much to talk about. Oh, boy, let's get it.
And the other guy, he is PE teacher / lunch lady / custodian / scorekeeper. He is everything but the assistant athletic director at the Trinity High School, but yet still he is the one, the only, our very own, the money man, Scottie D.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do, because I'm happy. I can't help it. I'm happy today. I'm miserable every week talking about the Dallas Cowboys up until today. And today I'm happy. So
that makes one of us.
That makes one of us, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, your Pitt Panthers are 5-0. Your Pitt Panthers are 5-0. How about that? It's the first time since, I don't know if that's ever happened, but
it's been a while.
They were 4-0 for the first time since 1991 or something silly like that. I don't know, but yeah.
The Pitt Panthers have entered the rankings chat.
Thank you. Well, I had them at number 1 last week, so everyone else is late.
I'm going to say this formally from the Clemson Tigers. Thank you, because good Lord, we need somebody to be ranked on the rest of our schedule. Jeez. It's not our fault.
November match. We got November.
Yeah, it is not our fault that nobody wants to stay ranked because Louisville fell, so they fell out of the rankings. We don't face Miami. We don't face SMU. We do face Pitt, and Pitt is not entered the rankings chat. We need a ranked opponent, and we cannot depend on the South Carolina Game Chickens to ever be ranked. So thank you, Pitt. Thank you so very much. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Sweet Caroline. Let's go.
Bum. Oh boy. Yeah.
One of the greatest.
Let's say this too, man. And this is serious. There's a lot of people who are suffering from that recent hurricane, and now we got another one that is bearing down on the western coast of Florida as we speak here. It's Governor DeSantis just said it is less than 700 miles off the coast. It's coming towards Florida. This as much as I love this time of year, that is the downside, is the hurricane season, that the tropical season that hits the southeast part of the United States. And man, I just hate seeing all the stuff that we see going on. And I'm not talking about the the fighting, the bickering about what the government's doing. And I'm talking about the people themselves that are suffering through this stuff, man. This stuff sucks. I've seen firsthand some of the damage that floods can do to the homes down in the Myrtle Beach area a couple of years ago, and I saw some total destruction that didn't come from wind. It was all from flooding, and that's what a lot of this was for this past one. And now this is a big, ugly storm headed towards Florida. So hopefully, you never know what can happen with these things. Hopefully, this thing slows itself down and doesn't do the destruction that it's capable of. But anyway, just wanted to mention that because that is some bad stuff going on down in the southeast part of the country, and hopefully things get better soon.
One thing I can report that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have already evacuated. They are in New Orleans and ahead of their game Sunday. They're in New Orleans, Saints versus Buccaneers. So they've already packed up all of their operations and everything. So, and we just pray and hope that all of the residents are able to do what needs to be done. And
anybody's sympathetic, it's the people of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And continue prayers for all of Eastern Tennessee, Western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, people that are still without power. So definitely prayers and well thoughts and to all of the relief efforts that go there. All right. Eddy Kool. Amtrak this thing. Let's talk about some sports. Right. Let's uplift the spirits.
Yeah, right. We talk about some sports, but we're doing the right thing though by, and letting those people know that you're all thought about, you're all loved, and I hope everybody turns out safe on the other end of this thing. From what's this one? Not Earl, but
Milton.
Yeah, Milton. Yeah, Milton, and those that were affected by Helene. Thoughts and prayers go out to y'all. Us living in that area, that southeastern mid-Atlantic area, we know all too well. Especially us, Be Live, we all know too well about Hurricane Hugo and the damage it did. So yeah, thoughts and prayers when it come out to everybody during the hurricane season. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order.
All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order.
Week 5 of the NFL season has come and gone. We had our first game overseas. Was it in Germany or London?
London.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie
to you. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Okay. I ain't gonna lie to you, fellas. Me being busy and working all the damn time, I barely had any chance to be near a TV screen. So I'm picking up bits and pieces all over the place as well as it goes. So we had a lot going on this weekend. There was a familiar trend that was going on. There were a handful of close games. And out of the close games, fellas, let's pick one to talk about. Scottie D, what say you?
Oh, I got to talk about the Sunday night game.
Okay.
One that kept me up all night long. No rain in Western Pennsylvania for about 10 weeks until kickoff time on Sunday. That's all right. It delayed it. And guys, I think I told you last week I was not expecting the Cowboys to do well here. They're out, like 5 of their top defensive players didn't play, and then they lost another pass rusher, Marcus Nealand, who's a rookie, and he went out on like the 4th or 5th play. So the Cowboys were playing a little shorthanded defensively. They can't run the ball, and they did that Sunday night. They can't stop the run, and they did that Sunday night. So it was actually a poor performance, I think, by both teams, to be honest with you. This is a game that was exciting because it was close and it came down to the last play. But I don't think either of these teams are going to the playoffs. I said that about Pittsburgh before the season started. Then they started off 3-0, and I said, just wait. They got a tough part of the schedule coming up. I actually picked the Cowboys to take a wild card, but I'm not convinced that that's going to happen. Is this the kind of game that gets the Cowboys kind of back on track, gets them right? I don't know. They're the highest paid quarterback in the league, turned it over 3 times in the red zone on Sunday night. Yeah, he finished well. He did help pull that game out. But come on, Dak. Come on. I don't know. I'm not excited about the Cowboys season, but I have to tell you, I was excited about this win because you guys know how I feel about the traditional rivalry with the Steelers and how the Steelers are not my favorite team. So this one was kind of sweet for me, but I don't know where the Steelers go from here. Do they make the change to Russell Wilson? What do the Cowboys do? I mean, they got Detroit coming in next week, and they haven't been able to win at home yet this year. They've won 3 games on the road, lost 2 at home, and it's not going to get easier because Micah Parsons isn't going to be back next week, so they're going to have to rely on these young, unproven defensive players again. I don't know. What do you think, Belive? You said no, not to change to Russell Wilson. I mean, Justin Fields was very
No.
unimpressive in this game, and he's had a couple games where he scored a touchdown or less.
It's one of those things where there's none of the Pittsburgh Steelers players have been outspoken about making a switch to Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson already poisoned that locker room against him just being Russell Wilson.
It's because he's a
I
dork.
just being just essentially so that's the feel that I get. I don't know.
It seems like he's been a good soldier through this. I mean, I think he's wanted to come back sooner, and I haven't heard much of the way of him having dissent in the locker room. And he's older, so naturally, most of the players that are younger are probably going to be drawn to Justin Fields. They like him. You know, I don't think anybody dislikes him, but for a team that's not scoring very many touchdowns, I mean, maybe Russell Wilson's a spark. Maybe he comes in and shakes things up a little bit.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not like championing his cause either, because I don't know what the answer is. But
we all picked him to be last in the division. I wonder what the expectation was within the organization as is. So, like, did you expect much coming in? Are you now, after going 3-0 to start, would you just say you did okay for us for the first 3 games? Now we're just going to push you to the side. I don't know.
See, I think they expect to compete. I mean, I don't think they looked at this as a rebuild because they went out and got 2 quarterbacks, both of which were starters last year, because quarterback was a terrible spot on that team last year. So I think they were fully expecting to compete. They have a nice defense. They have the best defensive player in the league who wreaks havoc coming off the edge, and TJ Watt. Offensively, they just seem to have some holes. I mean, they have one good receiver, not even great. Pickens is a good receiver, but he seemed to disappear. He dropped some balls. Najee Harris is a nice running back, but he's not like a stud running back. I don't know. I think they thought maybe having Russell Wilson was, the good veteran, was going to right the ship, and then obviously he got hurt, and they are where they are now.
Well, George Pickens is definitely filling in the role as a Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver, because if you know the history of Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers, they tend to be prima donnas. And at the end of the game, when George Pickens pulled at the face mask of the Dallas defender and everything, all in his fields and everything, I was like, that is a Steelers wide receiver right there. Good job for you. All right, so with me, fellas, as you know, on Sunday nights, I am a karaoke DJ, and I'm watching the game. It's it's like 1:00 in the morning, and I was like, you know what, y'all gonna have to pause for a minute, but I'm watching this game. Ain't no karaoke going on right now.
Because can't none of y'all sing. No.
I'm watching the game, and I'm over here like, so which Wiz Khalifa song am I going to play? Am I going to play We Them Boys or Black and Yellow?
Oh, wow.
I had them both queued up depending on what happened that last play. And, of course, I had to play We Them Boys because Dallas pulled it out. It was a good game to watch. I hate that it was so late, but it gave me something to watch later on, because when you get to about 1:15 in the morning, it's either most people have either cleared out, most people ain't singing anymore, and so you got the same 2 or 3 people singing. It's not good for karaoke, and I'm ready.
It's not good.
but hey, the game was still on. I get paid a little bit more. So with that being said, the game that was on my radar this week is a shocker, because being on the East Coast, we really don't pay too much attention to what happens on the West Coast. But we actually had a thriller in the NFC West between the Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers, because Kyler Murray said, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all forgot. Y'all must have forgot. I'm still that dude. And I could throw the ball, but I definitely got them little legs out getting to moving. And Kyler Murray was showing out. And to the tune of Arizona Cardinals are 3-2, or are they 2-3? I think they're 3-2. Either way,
Yeah.
they're 2-3. But nobody wants that division because the Seahawks are 3-2, and we didn't expect them to be where they're at. I don't think anybody wants that division. The 49ers, here's the big thing about this game right here. So the 49ers are 2-3 as well as the Cardinals, but they've already surrendered a loss now to the Cardinals and to the LA Rams. So right as it stands right now, they are already there. If a tiebreaker situation were to happen, they really have to win that second game against these teams for them to actually make an impact. They're game down to both of those teams. They've dug a hole for themselves, which I predicted at the beginning of the season. I was not sold on how San Francisco was going to perform this year, and ta-da! And we still don't know how long Christian McCaffrey is going to be out. And it hurts me to even say this, but that was one of the reasons why the Panthers traded him away. Yes, he had that phenomenal, I think, 2 seasons with them, but now he's got tendonitis in both his Achilles.
Both.
That basically what they're saying is that at any given point in time, all it takes is one good cut, and
yeah,
that's never good for a running back. Never good. So his recovery is going to be. We still don't know about that. I just don't see any really good signs of progression and the 49ers being competitive this year. It's a roller coaster of a season. This game right here showed it all because the 49ers were up 23-10 at half and let the Cardinals come back.
Yeah, that's surprising. I was surprised when I saw the score closing in on them like that.
It's like 49er team can't score 1 point in the second half.
8 points.
That's concerning. And so you gotta go back to the drawing board. Brock Purdy, hey, bruh, you do know that this is a contract year for you. Like this is right now is the difference between you getting paid Daniel Jones money or Dak Prescott money. That's a big gap. Like I could see him if he's performing to the top of his level right now, getting that $55 million contract, even though that will put the 49ers in salary cap hell, but you can't not sign your quarterback when he's been performing that way for you. This right here is Brock Purdy. This is it.
He's getting a big contract.
You think regardless?
He's already been to a Super Bowl and he's young. He's getting a big contract.
You think they're gonna give him that Trevor Lawrence? They're gonna give him that Justin Herbert?
That's what I think. I mean, those guys have proven nothing. Dak has more than proven nothing, and the contracts just keep going higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to a Super Bowl and lost. So did Joe Burrow. There's a big contract in Cincinnati. I mean, I think he's getting a big contract.
Yeah. Well, that was
my
my big focus. That was my big focus on a game like this. Which sort of sucks is that you're getting a contract for what you did, but you're getting paid to perform in the future. It's
owners and GMs are terrified. They're terrified of not having a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the quarterback market is insane. It's ridiculous.
See, this is one of those things where I would be at the negotiating table, be like, all right, Brock Purdy, before you got into this Shanahan offense, you were Mr. Irrelevant. And it's because of the offensive scheme that you're as good. Because heck, we made list of quarterbacks that we made look great. I mean, when Sam Darnold was there the year prior, who have they had at quarterback before Brock? Who was there?
Trey Lance, yeah.
Lance and Garoppolo.
Garoppolo looked good at San Fran, and then he went to the Raiders, and I don't even know where he's at right now.
Here's the thing: if you try to lowball Brock Purdy at the negotiating table right now, his agent's going to say, Deshaun Watson, pay us.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, yeah, that game was
if
horrible.
I was
Oh, that game
if
was
I, if
bad.
I if I was an agent, I wouldn't bring up Deshaun Watson ever.
I'm just
that's
saying, they're
a
gonna say,
because
hey, you paid
I
that
think
dude. Well, you
I
may not
think
guarantee
30
us as much, but you got to pay us. If that dude's getting paid, my guy got to get paid.
Yeah, because
I
my guy
think
went, because my guy, like you said, my guy went to the Super Bowl and lost, but still, he did something that Deshaun Watson has yet to do: get
I
to the
think
damn Super Bowl.
31 I think 31 of the 32 owners in the NFL hated that contract. 31 out of 32. The only ones that liked it were the ones that gave it to him.
Safe to
Like,
say,
no.
Deshaun Watson's contract is not going to have a happy ending.
Yeah,
Eddy Kool, what game you got?
I caught the tail end of that game. Well, this piece of the game, like this is bad. Um, I'm going to say the Thursday night game between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. That game was good. It was good.
Jeez.
Overtime.
Yeah, it was one of the rare Thursday games that wasn't a doozy. Kirk Cousins passed for 509 yards, 42 of 58 passing, 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. Uh-oh, we got a Kyle Pitts sight. He didn't see the end zone, but he got 7 catches for 88 yards. When I say both quarterbacks were efficient, this is like the most efficient. This is the most efficient I've ever seen Baker Mayfield and Kirk Cousins. Like they were spreading the ball all over the place. And also what helped me enjoy the game, I watched it on Amazon's Next Gen Cast or whatever, right? I
Okay.
watched it on the Next Gen Cast, which means they open up a field a little bit more and they highlight the receivers and the defensive backs and everything, and you get to see, it's fabulous, it's wonderful. Yeah, just an alternate way to watch the game, but it's fabulous as well too. I would say this young way cool, not young ho cool, Mo ho.
Yeah.
Mo ho was nice, but my young ho was cool. Nah, I'm joking. I'm stopping. But yeah, I mean, he shanked one, but then he wound up making one, and then Kirk Cousins said, "You know what, Baker Mayfield and them, hold on, hold my beer," and he throws a 67-yard strike in overtime to Kadaro. What's his name? What's the guy named Kadaro? I got his name right here. Kadaro Hodge for the touchdown, and that was it. The Dirty Birds was jumping up and down. In my heart of hearts, as a Carolina Panthers fan, I wish the game would have ended in a tie, but we didn't get that. We didn't get it. It was very high school, a very spirited game between the two, and we play the Dirty Birds next week. This game was good, man. You didn't have a whole it. There was never at a point in this game where never at a point in this game where it got sloppy.
Yeah.
It was just like
you,
punch, counter punch, punch, counter punch.
you know what else was inefficient during that game?
What?
Scottie D's fantasy team.
Ooh, here we
Because
go.
Scottie D's opponent had Kirk Cousins.
Ooh,
Have you even looked at your fantasy team, bro?
It's been a while. I picked up
And
Rico Dowdle a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I played him this week, but I didn't pick him up.
you did not. You did not.
Okay. I should have.
Rico Dowdle. I mean, and for people that are out there that don't know how our fantasy football league works, it's the craziest scoring ever.
Wild Wild West.
But Kirk Cousins.
Maybe I've started paying a little bit more attention to that.
Kirk Cousins outscored Scottie D's whole entire fantasy team.
Oh, was that right? Is that true? But before we move on to another topic, which we're about to do, I have to bring up the fact that we saw elite quarterback play in the Bengals versus Ravens game. What a game that was! 41-38 overtime game. It's a classic, instant classic. Ravens win. Lamar Jackson was 26 of 42 for 348 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also ran for 55. Joe Burrow was 30 of 39. At one point, I think he completed like 12 straight. He had 392, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception that proved to be costly. Lamar had a costly fumble, but the special teams unit of the Bengals bailed him out by not being able to kick a field goal properly. But why are the Bengals happy when they get that ball back to just run it into the middle of the line 3 times and allow their kicker to go out there and try to kick a 55-yard field goal? Like,
Well, here's the thing, because I know that is the argument a lot of people are saying, and they are comfortable. They believe in Evan McPherson, their kicker. He's very reliable.
Mm-hmm.
The person that was not reliable during that exchange was the holder, a rookie undrafted free agent punter that had a
Yeah,
case of the slippery fingers.
but
You
if you
can't
notice,
blame.
the snap came in high and tight on him, though. It came up by his chin, so he did have to go and make a play on it. I noticed when it happened live, I said that it looked weird that he kind of caught up here. But okay, but regardless, why not try to make it a little easier? Why not? Why kick a 55? I'm not putting that on the kicker because the whole. I mean, you could see clearly the ball was tilted and his timing was way off. I mean, he was lucky he was even able to get his foot on it. I mean, because he was going through his motion. But why not? I mean, Burrow was 30 of 39. You don't trust him to throw to Higgins or Chase and get 20 yards closer, and then that whole act becomes a little bit simpler because it's more routine. It's I don't know. That's my thought. I didn't like going so ultra conservative. I mean, what's the point of running into the line 3 times? I mean, it wasn't like towards the end of the game you weren't killing the clock. It was still going to be like 4.5 minutes left when that happened. I mean, so clock wasn't an issue. I just didn't like that at all. This is Burrow's what 5th year.
I'll play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Because you got to look at it this way. At this point in time, offense, defense, et cetera, they've played 65 minutes of football. This is the opportune time. All you have to do is score to win. You've been gifted the ball back, et cetera, et cetera. Evan McPherson, take us on home. This is too easy. This is clockwork. This is what you do all the time. And he's like, just put the ball in position right here. Let's go home.
But it's 55 yards with a new holder. So why not try to make it simple? Try to make it easy, or even score a touchdown. Maybe you score a touchdown and don't have to worry about it. Just make it a chip shot or make it easier. I mean, and look, kickers that are kicking 50 plus at a high rate these days. I mean, the kicking around the league is outstanding right now. Mm-hmm. But come on, man, give him get close, get a little bit more aggressive. I didn't like the settling for that. Whenever you could make a little bit of progress, get closer down the field, and I don't know. They said the wind was with him, but there's still wind. I don't know, man. Just it's not like you got Dak at quarterback. You got Joe Burrow. He's 30 of 39. He's 30 of 39, and let him throw the ball. He's got 2 great receivers. Let him throw it because they're going to key on the run. They're stacking up the line. Throw it, get closer, take your chip shot, and go home with the big divisional win. Instead, you're 1-4.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna give you this. Anytime, and this is a little insight to everybody else that deals with me in the world.
I need insight.
Anytime I say I'm going to play devil's advocate, that actually means I agree with you. I am actually just using this position to try to give you another insight.
Yeah, I get it. You're looking at it from another side. I get it, but
that's trust and believe. Nobody. I am a couch potato. I am Monday night quarterback at its finest. Dude. I am never comfortable with a 55-yard field goal. I don't care how great your kicker is. Mm-hmm. Justin Tucker is the best kicker of all time, and he's been the worst this year.
Yeah, that's
as of late. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, get this ball as close as you can. If not in the end zone, you be on the 2-yard line and make it a chip shot. Because man,
that's what I
agree with you 100%. Yeah,
I feel like. Even now in year 5, the Bengals have not done their due diligence and got stacked up that offensive line. I just don't feel like they have done that. And after Burrow went down his rookie year, I thought that's got to be the priority. We've talked about that multiple times. I don't know. Bengals at 1-4 and 0-3 in the division. They should be
with the amount of talent that they have.
Yeah. So here's my question: are the Bengals in trouble?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. I mean, there's still plenty of time to turn it around. don't get me wrong. If they go and win 8 in a row, then we're saying, wow, the Bengals are hot. They won 8 in a row. But they got to do it. They got to start figuring it out like now.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you see, even though they took an L against the Ravens, the way Lamar Jackson played in that game, almost every team in the NFL is taking an L to the Ravens. But to be that close and have the ball in your hands,
Yeah.
Cincinnati can compete with anybody.
Mhm.
It's just, hey,
They can't close out games.
No.
I mean, if you got 12 more games, you can't just keep, oh, we'll get them next week. Oh, we'll get them next week. Oh, no. This is where you whatever's happening. I don't know if it's the offensive line, if it's the defense in general, because the defense did give up 41
Yeah.
points.
Mhm.
So you got to start looking at that. Joe Burrow did his job. He did his job.
Yeah. One thing you
Jamar
can't
Chase
do is
did
lose
his
to the
job.
Patriots 10-6 or whatever the heck that is.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Can't do that.
you got to win the games that are on your schedule. That's going to be a whole nother conversation in just a second. But yeah, that was an incredible, man.
Mhm.
God, that was such a game. And then getting the overtime and the turnovers and the
It was crazy.
It was insanity.
Yeah.
God almighty, we've had some really good games this season. I'm excited for many more. But I gotta say this. I gotta ask you this real quick. I know we gotta move on. We gotta move on. The Washington Redskins, are they for real? Scottie D. I gotta ask you that. This is your division. Are they for real?
I've watched one real game of theirs, and they look pretty real to me. They're buying into that quarterback, and he looks like a veteran.
Yep.
He looks like a easy rookie of the year candidate right now, even MVP candidate. MVP might be a little bit much to say at this time, but he legit looks really good.
He's throwing for over 80%.
Yeah,
as
he looks
a
really
rookie.
good.
God almighty. We'll see what happens because he hasn't faced the Cowboys, hasn't faced the Eagles yet. So those division games mean something. They mean something. So now I think that'll be the true test.
Well,
Oh,
that's going to be a good segue into what we got going on next week.
Yep. That will be one of my games of the week. I'm looking forward to the Commanders and the Ravens. Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson, Jaden Daniels.
that is
That's
right.
gonna be good next week.
That's a good one to circle on the calendar for next week.
Yeah, that's a good one next week. Let's see what else we got here. We got the 49ers and the Seahawks. They play Thursday, Jaguars, Bears Sunday. Across the pond, Buccaneers, Saints, 1 p.m. We mentioned the Commanders and the Ravens, 1 p.m. The Cardinals and the Packers, 1 p.m. game. Colts, Titans, another 1 p.m. game. Texans and the Patriots, Browns and the Eagles. Got my money on the Eagles. And let's see, 4 o'clock games. We got the Chargers and the Broncos, Steelers and Raiders, and we got the Panthers and the Falcons.
And
Cowboys.
Hmm.
Yeah, 425. Cowboys, Lions, Bengals, and the Giants. And of course, the Monday night game, we got the Jets and the Bills.
All
So
right,
that's
so not much to watch.
mm-mm.
My eye is going to be on Cowboys Lions
Okay.
because hey, let's see it. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Can the Cowboys build a momentum? The Lions are playing really well. They're 4-1. Like
Man,
this is
the
a statement
Cowboys,
victory.
the Cowboys heading home to take on a team coming off of a bye and pretty angry about last year. If you remember the offensive lineman call whenever they were going for the
Yeah,
2-point conversion and
yeah.
all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that Dan Campbell's the kind of coach that will remind everybody in that locker room what happened last December when they were in Dallas. So yeah, I'm not feeling quite as confident in that one, but we'll see. That's why they play him out there, Be Live.
Like you said, we shall see. Be
Plus, not only that, last time Jared Goff played, he didn't throw an incomplete pass either. He was 100%.
Factuals.
Yeah, still. Be what you looking at for next week? Did you pick a game for next week?
Oh, I'm Cowboys Lions, but of course,
Okay.
Commanders and Ravens is going to be on the eyes of everyone. But yeah.
That's gonna
And
be
I'll tell you, a
wild.
team that needs a win badly is those Jets on Monday night against Buffalo.
Ooh, they do.
They need that win bad, and I don't think they're going to get it. But they're in New York, so we'll see.
Yeah, they're in New York, and we shall see. Ladies and gentlemen,
Pets,
pig wranglers, monkey trainers,
pet owners.
cheaters, pumpkin eaters, and everything in between. This is the Be Live Top 5. Five. It's gonna be a good one.
Fellas, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize ahead of time. I'm gonna apologize to you. I'll be taking notes, I'll be looking at these games and everything. Screw the notes because the college football world has been flipped completely upside down. And did
Because no one had Pitt
four.
undefeated after 5 weeks. No one.
No, absolutely not. But
Here we
now
go.
Pitt has entered the rankings chat. They have not entered my top 5 just yet. But man, oh man, I need Pitt to stay ranked. Pitt, just stay ranked. Stay ranked until Clemson comes to town. And we all know what happened the last time Clemson came to town.
Yeah, you came to town.
Yeah.
I came to town.
Somebody grandma gave me a cookie.
Oh man. But let's just get into it. The Be Live top 5. Guess what? There's been changes in the top 5. I'm ripping up the script. The script is over with. I tried it. And I guess the SEC didn't really want it. They don't want it.
Nope.
So, as opposed to me having 4 of the 5 teams from the SEC, not this time. We're going to start off at number 5. Number 5, I'm gonna keep them in there. I had them at number 5 last week. I'm gonna keep them in there. I'm gonna keep them at number 5. I'm not gonna drop them. I'm not gonna raise them because I don't know. But the Bulldogs of Georgia, I keep them at number 5 for a reason. Even though that first half against Alabama, they were down 28-0, they ended up taking the lead. They showed people, hey, hold on, don't write us off just yet. And then they handled their business against Mississippi State. I mean, they could have beat them a lot worse than they did. But I think Georgia at this point in time still makes a statement for being up there in the top 5 because a lot of teams I thought were top 5 material, they ain't top 5 anymore. But Georgia, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You face an Alabama team that was strong. But we'll get back to Alabama in just a second because, yeah. Number 4. This is the big one for me. I'm going to try this out. Number 4. This team just keeps finding a freaking way just to win games that they should have lost, games that they were dominated for a good period of time. They were down by 25 points this week. Do we attribute that to the 10:30 Eastern time start time?
Tell me who you're talking about, and I'll let you know.
Well, I think it should be clear when I say a 10:30 at night Eastern time start time.
There's a team out west.
Southern Cal.
Yeah.
No,
Stanford.
It's a team in the East. It's a team in the East that lives along the Atlantic coastline, but had to play a game in California because of the teams that the ACC picked up. Miami versus Cal started at 10:30 at night. And Cal was up by 25 points to Miami. A lot of people didn't see it because guess what? The game started at 10:30. But Miami found a way and came back to win the game in not convincing fact. They won by like the last play of the game or something like that. But Miami just finds a way to keep winning. They're 6-0. There's literally nobody ahead of them in the conference that they have to challenge them. The only challenge they're going to get is in the ACC championship. and we shall see. But Miami just, I'm
It'll
putting
come
them at
down to
number 4
Miami and
because
Pitt.
okay, let's not do that.
Eh,
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let me. I know what you're trying to do. Clemson's not going to let Pitt win this year. No, we
Did you
can't. We
see
can't allow
Boise
that.
State score 62 points this week?
God,
That's a lot of points.
going on to number 3, another team that just finds a way to win. And as much as I've been punishing teams for not finishing games or not being like beating teams by 4 or 5 touchdowns, after this past weekend, you just got to reward winning. And this team is undefeated. And the reason why I actually have them ranked this high is just because I'm in anticipation of this coming weekend. Because I want to have a number 2 versus a number 3 matchup. And it's happening this weekend in my top 5. Number 3, Oregon, the Ducks with their 127 uniform combinations, and they're undefeated.
mm.
They're undefeated. They haven't won convincingly and nicely, whatever you want to say, but they're undefeated. And there's not too many teams out there that's undefeated. Oregon, I'm
There's
putting
one
you up
here
there
in
at number
town where I
3.
live.
Yeah, yep. Again, we'll see. Jury's still out.
I'm talking about Pitt.
They're not they're not top 5.
They're
Not just
undefeated.
yet.
They're undefeated.
Yeah, I understand that.
5-0.
Who have they played?
They're
Anyway,
in my top 1.
number 3, you can be in your top 1. You can have whatever you want. Nobody will agree with you on that. All right.
And then I got Ole
Yeah.
Miss.
All right. You just going to
you're not
interrupt me the
done. Go
whole
ahead,
time?
guys.
Yeah, I'm not even close.
Go ahead,
Oregon, number
forgot.
3, because I got them set up against the number 2 team, and that is the Ohio State University. The Buckeyes.
Ooh.
Ohio State versus Oregon is happening this coming weekend.
Really? What time is that game?
You know what? I wish I had that in front of me. I should
All
have that in
right,
front of
let's
me.
find out. I'll tell you here in a second. I might have to watch that game.
But yeah, Ohio State, Oregon. I think they're playing in Eugene, and I think so because I keep hearing mentions of
Yeah, said it'll be
college
at
game
7.
day.
It'll be at 7:30.
7:30 in Eugene.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ohio State versus
Oregon.
Oregon.
We'll be awake for that one.
Oh, yes, man. That is the game of the week for me. And that's the reason why I have Oregon at number 3, Ohio State at number 2. So does the AP poll. Number 1, they had the benefit of having the greatest bye week ever. And that's the Texas Longhorns. I still had them at number 1. I'm keeping them at number 1 because they didn't lose. Because guess what? The high regard I had for Alabama, I had them at number 2, didn't have them at number 1. High regard I had for Alabama. High regard I had for Tennessee. The high regard I had for Ole Miss. All they decided to do is lose. And lose to the teams that they lost to. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt.
Oof.
Tennessee, who they lose to?
Vanderbilt. Arkansas. They lost to
Arkansas,
Arkansas.
Yeah, Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Ole Miss lost to did Ole Miss lose to Kentucky?
No, Ole Miss beat up on the Gamecocks.
Oh, Ole Miss beat up on the game.
They lost to Kentucky last week. That was last
That's
week.
what it was. That's okay. That's where I'm at with it. Yeah, they beat up on the game chickens, the doormat of the SEC. All right, but
that'd be shame.
But that's what it is. That's what it is. Because I'm getting ahead of myself because everything I'm talking about goes into the Be Live not top 5. I'm gonna go through it real quickly.
Well, we got another 5 to go.
Number 5, Michigan. Y'all better learn how to throw the ball. Michigan. And each one of these teams that I'm mentioning have lost to unranked opponents. Like you can't lose unranked opponents. Can't be ranked and lose unranked opponents. That's immediately goes to being overrated. Be Live not top 5. Southern Cal. Oh boy, I tried, and you did it to yourself this time. Did it to yourself. Sorry.
Milky got beat again.
Yep.
Milky Moss.
Can't do it. I just won't allow it. Number 3, Missouri. I didn't believe y'all in the first place. But Missouri, come on, bro. Come on. You can't lose the way that you did to Texas. I mean, Texas A&M was ranked, so they were 25th, but you lost to them 41-10. Mizzou, you were in the top 10, but you can't lose by 31 points. And at the aforementioned Tennessee, come on, bruh. I've been praising Tennessee and Nico Amaleva. Arkansas, my boy Stan's gonna hear this and he's gonna talk trash because he's an Arkansas fan, but Arkansas, really, dude? And then, of course, Alabama, Vanderbilt. They are still partying in Nashville right now. The goalpost is in the river. The goalpost, the river, I think, is 3 miles away from the stadium.
Down by the riverside.
That's how much they partied in Nashville. The goalpost is in the river. Alabama, the Kalen DeBoer, this is you. Nick Saban doesn't allow that. He doesn't allow y'all to get on your high horse after a big win against Georgia and then fall into a trap. He doesn't let you. Nick Saban doesn't let you fall for the rat poison. But I will say this, Nick Saban, you cursed your team, your former team, because you went on college game. I was a college game day or the Pat McAfee show, one of the two, and went on there and said that nobody fears playing in Vanderbilt. Ugh.
And didn't they put that clip at the end of the game?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
The ultimate locker board bulletin board material. Nick Saban, don't do that no more. I understand you new to the media game. Don't do that to Alabama no more because they felt it. Because Vanderbilt could not be stopped. When have you ever heard that ever?
Never.
You've never heard that.
Never.
Vanderbilt said, got something for you.
Watch
all right,
this.
Scottie D. How you gonna mock my
UCLA scored 11. That's a weird score in football. I don't like that. I would.
What was the other score? The winning score.
27. Penn State beat UCLA 27-11.
Okay.
That's a
field goal, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion to keep it to a 2-possession game.
I don't like that. I don't like the number 11 on football scores.
What else, Scottie D?
That's all. That's all.
That's all. So that's all I got this week.
No. He got to have something else. There's something new.
That's all I got.
Like, so, fellas, how about Ashton Genty running for 1,000 yards, only like what, 5 games into the season? On 85 carries, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, he's averaging like 11, 12 yards a carry, and just yeah.
We might have to watch some Boise State football, fellas, to see how good this Ashton Genty is.
Now, Boise State, I get them as my number 2 team in the country right now because they scored 62. I got Pitt number 1.
Okay, there we go.
Boise State number 2, and Ole Miss number 3. They bounced back.
There we go. There we
go.
So,
there's the top 3.
Yep. So Colorado had an off week.
I got them at 4 now.
Yep. Colorado had an off week. Ashton Genty is running wild, brother, like Hulkamania back in the days. And football, and more football. Be live. You got anything else you want to add to the same? Or can we roll along?
I just keep rolling along because I could talk about this for another 20, 30 minutes.
And we're going to stop right there.
Challenge not accepted.
Because due to time constraints, looking at my watch, oh, shoot, that boy done got a watch. Dramatic pause and got a watch. Guess what time it is?
Time to talk baseball with Button.
That too, and I'm glad you asked. It is time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the Choices of the Voices. With that being said, hey, yo, Button, hit it. Choices of the Voices coming at you right here on your favorite sports podcast, the Sports Bros Podcast.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the Choices of the Voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and
ever so lovely Miss Button
for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the Choices of the Voices. Man, you know how we do it, man. We ask you a question, y'all give us the answer, and we talk about it right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. With that being said, Scottie D, what's on tap?
Well, we just simply asked who you think is going to win the World Series, and we asked that last week, so we have the advantage of seeing a little bit more progress made in the playoffs. And man, things are heating up. Actually, as we're speaking, I'm watching the Guardians and Tigers, and there's no score in that game as of this moment. And later on this evening, the Yankees will be hosting the Royals in Game 2. They're up 1-0 in that series. Phillies and Mets have had a couple of burners. It's 1-1 in that series. And the Dodgers and Padres, boy, emotions high in that NL West showdown. It's 1-1. They were heading out to San Diego. What was I going with that? What was I saying? Who's going to win the World Series? And Eddy Kool, what did the people say?
Who's going to win the World Series? They're going to be fighting. San Diego said, we ain't scared no doggone Dodgers. All right, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Tony Bogan, he says, I think the San Diego Padres will win their first World Series title in franchise history.
Okay. I like that call. I like that.
All you got to do is get hot at the right time. Brad Thomas says, I hope the Padres. Schlip was my hitting coach way back in the day. All right.
Schilt. Oh, yeah. Schilt.
Yep.
You know, if the Padres get past the Dodgers, we should see if we can have a conversation with this guy and see if he'd like to tell us a little bit about manager Schilt.
I would like it. All right. Kay Carlson, she posted an image, and it's a tiger. She said the Detroit Tigers, who made the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. All right.
Really? It's been that long. I didn't realize that.
I remember a long time. Yep. Mark O says LFGM, which means let's effing go Mets, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. He is a Mets guy.
Okay, cool. I guess they're the only team in the playoffs with a letter in their mascot starts with an M. Good, I got it. All right. Hall of Famer Uncle Max says, I think it will be the Dodgers this year. And Reese Jenkins says, I told y'all who it was going to be. New York and them Dodgers chicken employees. New York.
He's rooting with the Yanks all the way. He's calling for the Yankees. Yeah.
He was calling for the Yankees. And AD Series says no one because his Astros got eliminated.
Okay, question. In his statement, where did you see Yankees in that? And Reese's.
That's true. It says NY. It could be the Mets.
I think he's predicting the World Series matchup. So we're gonna go Yankees Dodgers because it can't be the Mets Dodgers. So
yeah,
we'll give him the benefit of the doubt over here. Talk about Dodgers chicken. I miss Dodgers chicken. Oh God. Yep.
The ultimate sin.
Dodgers chicken, the ultimate sin.
It was the ultimate sin.
3:00 in the morning. Let me get my triple plate on piece of six and some sweet tea. All right. So shout out to Tony, Brad, Kay, Mark, Uncle Max, Reese, and AD and their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Scottie D, who the hell you got?
Boy, man, I tell you, Major League Baseball would absolutely love to have a Yankee Dodgers showdown, Judge versus Ohtani. They are just clamoring for that. They might actually get a little bit of ratings to chip away at some football. I think it could happen. The Yankees, they got to try to come out of the AL Central there. That's all that's left in the American League other than the Yankees. And I think they can do it. They looked not very good in game one and was still able to get past the Royals without really hitting the ball. But Stanton and Judge got to get going. Those guys got to start swinging the bat. And on the other side, I actually like, man, I hate rooting. I hate not giving the Phillies a chance to win the World Series, but I kind of think that whoever wins the Dodgers Padres is going to win it all. And I think that the Padres can do it. I think that they're just so amped up to beat the Dodgers. Did you see the delay in left field the other night? Jurickson Profar took a home run away. I think it was from Betts. And he turned and he just stood at the crowd and looked at him and like hopped up and down and just mugged him. His punk. And then they started throwing stuff at him. And then all double hockey sticks broke loose at that point. And the game got delayed, which that was going on while the football game was. I didn't need another delay. Too many delays going on at the same time there. But I think the Padres just they feel like they belong in that, and they feel like that they can take down the Dodgers, and they've gotten one game. They can actually win 2 at home and don't have to go back and play the Dodgers in their stadium again. So having said all that, I still don't have a good answer. I'm gonna say Yankees. Let's go Yankees. I'm taking the Yanks.
right.
The homer pick.
Yanks over the Padres. We're gonna go with that.
I got you. Be like, what say you?
I am rooting for the Detroit Tigers because they haven't been a mainstay. They've been one of those teams. They fought hard to get where they're at right now. They're a young team, and I want to see somebody just to disrupt all the big market teams, et cetera, blah blah blah. Who I picked to win it all is going to be totally left field. I'm going to pick the Kansas City Royals. I'm going to explain it to you in a pepper point.
Oh, okay. You'll explain to us why.
I'm going to explain it to you in a pepper point, and you will understand why. Eddy Kool, what you got going on?
You know what? Kansas City not too far off because they are the former World Series champions from the mid 2010s or whatever. So that's not too far off. I'm gonna say the damn Guardians. I'm gonna say the Cleveland. I'm gonna say the Guardians. That bullpen is good as long as Naylor and long as the other guy who his name escapes me. It shouldn't escape me. Not Ramirez. Is it Ramirez? No, not Ramirez. God. Anyways, his name will come to me. As long as the bats keep getting hot and the pitcher keeps doing what they do, I think they should win it. I really think they should. I really think they should win it.
Right now, almost every team's got good pitching. That's why they're all there right now. It's just a matter of finding ways to get runs across.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, man.
But if the Dodgers don't do it this year, when do they do it? They are loaded. They have the best team money can buy. And Ohtani's playing well in the postseason. Like some of these stars, they get into the postseason, they don't hit. I mean, Aaron Judge is hitting around 200 in the postseason, and in regular season he hits over 300. And give me that matchup. I'd love to have the Yankees Dodgers. I think that would be phenomenal. That hasn't happened since 1981, where those two franchises played each other in the Ball Classic. I'd love to see that, but.
Yeah,
Garrett Cole, the Yankees ace, did not look very good in the first game. So the Yankees, I still think the Yankees have pitching problems. Maybe I shouldn't have picked them. Maybe I just picked them just because I like the Yankees. Yep. Yeah, maybe I think that's what I did. Yep. Maybe I really believe the Dodgers are going to win it all. They're in it every year. The only year they won it was the 2020 weird.
Scott, what COVID. You got going on for next week? What's the question for next week?
With that being said, Scottie D, what's on tap for next week?
I think I'm going to go with the Mets to win it all.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I'm kidding. I'm sticking with Yankees over Padres. I said it, so I can't. Okay. So, what NFL team that has a losing record right now do you think turns it around and makes the playoffs?
Oh, that's a good one.
That'll give us something to talk about next week. What team right now with a losing record turns it around and makes the playoffs?
Could it be a team that I said was in trouble that might just right the ship? Well, hell,
could.
You never know, man. Well. You never know. With that being said, there's been another edition of Choices of the Voices. Be live, get to grabbing and get to shaking, because you know why? Pepper Around the Pepper is next, right here on Sports Bros Podcast.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
All right, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, around the pepper, you know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really, here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. With that being said, I'll go first. On this day in history, back in 1908, the Chicago Cubs beat the New York Giants 4-2 in a playoff to win the National League pennant. Yep. The Cubbies win the pennant. Over to you, Scottie D.
So we did talk about good baseball teams. I just wanted to mention what happened with the end of the season with really bad baseball team. I didn't get to mention this a couple weeks ago because I was out of here early, but with 6 games to go in the regular season, the Pirates designated Rowdy Tellez and Michael A. Taylor for assignment. That means basically cut them off the team at the end of the game. Now, you remember in the old days of baseball, old days, meaning like 3 years ago, they used to have the roster expansions at the end of the season, and they don't do that anymore. They steadily give you like 2 extra spots. So they called up 2 extra guys just to give them some at bats to play the last 6 games. And Rowdy Tellez, who was their big free agent signing, was cut, designated for assignment. He had a modest 1-year deal, him and Mike Wade Taylor. Here's the deal. Rowdy Tellez was set to get a $200,000 bonus if he met 425 plate appearances.
Oh.
He had 421. That means 1 game, he'd have had 4 at bats and cashed in an extra $200,000. But the Pirates didn't give it to him. No. The team that said that they're not about money let him go without that $200,000, called up 2 other guys, neither of which played the day that they made that transaction. Now, I ask you, if you're a free agent shopping around in the offseason, are you wanting to go to Pittsburgh? They do that to their players. Pittsburgh Pirates, do better. Do way better. Be live. Take it away.
Let these guys get their money.
Yeah, that's rough. All right. Remember just a few minutes ago where I mentioned my pick to win the World Series as part of our Choice of the Voices segment. And I said I was going to explain it during Pepper. Well, here we are. Well, 2021, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series.
Yeah, I remember
2022, the Houston Astros won the World Series.
Remember that one.
2023, the Texas Rangers won the World Series. In 2024, there is one player that is synonymous with the past 3 World Series champions.
And I think I know who you're talking about, but keep going.
This guy is now a reliever for the Kansas City Royals. That's why I pick the Kansas City Royals to win the World Series. And that's my man, Will Smith. He's been on the last 3 World Series teams. So why not? Let's go ahead and get him for a 4th straight World Series. Kansas City Royals, Will Smith.
And if they play the Dodgers, it could be Will Smith versus Will Smith again.
Why the hell not? Eddy Kool, the ball.
I was going to say Jorge Solar or George Solar because I was like, wait a minute. This does sound kind of. But anyways, on this day in history back in 2018, New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees becomes the NFL's all-time leader in passing yards, and he only needed 201 yards to pass Peyton Manning's record. In the end, he gets 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 43-19 win versus the Washington football team, Ken Skin Commander Piglets, in the Superdome. Yeah, Peyton Manning said, I got this record. Drew Brees said, hold my beignets and my beer and watch this. Well, yeah, shout out to Drew Brees. Over to you, Scottie D.
I didn't get to say anything about this because it happened after I was gone a couple weeks ago, but I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that the all-time leader in Major League Baseball hits has passed away in Pete Rose. I don't know if you guys talked about this last week whenever I wasn't around, but very sad that he didn't live to see the day that his name got called to the Hall of Fame. And I kind of disagree with the fact that if you ban him from baseball, you don't get a chance to go in the Hall of Fame because the one really has nothing to do with the other. I know there's like a rule that the Hall of Fame has that if you're on a not allowed list, a banned list, then you can't be in the Hall of Fame. But I don't like that because you could ban him from baseball, never allow him to be a manager, general manager, and get involved in the game at any level. But the fact of the matter is you can't tell the story of baseball without talking about Pete Rose, the guy that was known as Charlie Hustle, the guy that has more hits than anyone has ever done. And it's hard to defend the guy because he had an opportunity he was offered a chance to get back into baseball, and by saying, I'll never gamble, I'll never go to casinos. He chose not to take that deal. He chose to do it his own way. And so he didn't find his way in, but I was really saddened because I always, despite how crazy he ended up being, I always liked Pete Rose. I always thought that, it would have been nice to see him get that final recognition. Anyway, rest in peace, Pete Rose. Be live. Over to you.
Let him in, baseball. Quit playing.
Let him in, man. Just
This
he
point,
didn't cheat. He didn't cheat the game. He just
didn't cheat
gambled.
the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
he shouldn't have done it. But I mean, what happened after his career in gambling on base didn't affect the fact that the guy hit the ball to all fields and played 5 positions and was just one heck of a ball player.
The man was good. The man was good.
Oh man. My second pepper point goes into NCAA colleges. Pay the athletes. We're here. Judge Claudia Wilkin granted preliminary approval to the terms of an industry-changing antitrust settlement Monday morning, accepting a series of changes made by attorneys representing all Division I athletes, NCAA, and its Power 5 conferences. Basically, schools could pay the athletes as part of the revenue sharing program. And the initial figure is $21.5 million that will be distributed across the board to all of the scholarship athletes at the respective schools. I did a little quick math at my beloved Clemson University based on the revenue stats from 2021 to 2022, the fiscal year 2021-22. That'd be an average of over $41,000 per scholarship athlete. Of course, that'll be distributed based according to the revenue. So like Clemson football brought in I think around $85 million that year. Well, men's basketball took in $8 million. So it's going to be distributed they can distribute it any way they want to, but as long as the money goes to all of the scholarship athletes, Title IX, and all those other things. But yeah, preliminary approval, colleges will begin to pay athletes per revenue sharing, and the world of college athletics is continuing to change. As we know, Eddy Kool
continuing to circle the drain.
There's a whole lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. And on this day in history, back in 1958, Braves' Eddie Matthews strikes out for the World Series record 11 times. For the 11th time, he struck out. Wow. Too bad for Eddie Matthews. But the Braves later go on to get redemption in the 90s and win the World Series. So even though Eddie Matthews wasn't there, Braves got one. Now we got 2. Over to you, Scottie D.
Man, Saturday was just packed full of stuff to watch. College football day, Major League Baseball playoffs, WWE pay-per-view, and to cap off the night, the UFC. And the last thing I watched that night was Alex Pereira, UFC light heavyweight champion, fight against Khalil Roundtree, who's a pretty good fighter and actually had won the first 2, possibly 3 rounds against Pereira, but whose damage he was wearing more and more. And finally, I could barely watch the 4th round when Pereira just started teeing off on this guy. It makes it even more astounding to me that Israel Adesanya was able to beat this guy and knock him out, because at this point, if he got in the ring, he'd just get destroyed by him. This guy's just getting better and better and better. I couldn't even look. He was just splitting this guy's face apart just with these hard, heavy punches, and looked effortless. And when it was over, the referee, Mark Goddard, told Joe Rogan, "I've been in the octagon for 20 years, and I've never heard anybody hit anybody. I've never heard it sound like this before. This guy is growing into absolute beast mode, and I don't know who's going to stop this cyborg, but nonetheless, Alex Pereira, even talking about moving up to heavyweight, for now is still the light heavyweight champion. If you get a chance to watch this guy fight, do it, but just beware. It's like spooky season. Be live. Take me home."
So he hit hard for real.
He hits hard. He hits his jab is just it's mean. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to hit somebody the way he hits people. It's mean.
Go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry.
I know you're good. You're good. I'm gonna hit you hard with this one with my third and final pepper point, because you know how I like to do things, man. The what happened of sports third and final pepper point. So you remember how we talked earlier in the podcast about the excitement behind the Washington Commanders versus the Baltimore Ravens coming up this week?
I remember that.
Well, it is spread all across the world how excited people are, that people are losing their minds. Well, NBC requested the NFL to flex that game to make it their Sunday night game. And CBS was like, have you lost your ever-loving mind? No, we're not giving up that game. We want all of the views. They're like, come on, you're doing way too much. CBS is like, nah, you can't have it. NBC, nope, and hell no.
No.
So this game will remain a 1:00 game on CBS as opposed to being an 8:20 highlight night game because CBS.
Well, because they got the Giants hosting the Bengals. Those teams combined for 3 wins. So no wonder Collinsworth's like, let's try to get that other game. Let's try to get the Baltimore.
Nope, the CBS is not having it, and fans are giving it. Oh, come on, CBS, we want that game to be later. And CBS is like, all right, we'll make it later if we can still air the game. Y'all, NBC, you air that 1:00, make that game 1:00, and you air it. We want all the revenue from it. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not how things work out here. With that being said, yeah, y'all done lost your minds. Wow. Oh boy, I tell you what, these people crazy out here.
Scottie D, who's playing the Sunday night game that night?
The Bengals at the Giants.
Lord have mercy.
What are we, chopped liver? You don't want to come see me, Chris Collinsworth?
Nah, bro. These teams are good. Those teams, you're gonna have a hard time trying to make the most out of that. Hey, did you guys see Brian Daboll? Before we go, you see Brian Daboll crash his players' Instagram live celebration?
No.
Wandale, they was jumping up and down. Oh, you see Brian Daboll, turn that off. Yes, sir.
Oh, they were doing it from the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when you're 2-3 and you're probably not going to be coaching much longer for that. You're like, let's try to act serious.
Yeah, Brian Daboll was like, turn that off. I said, and the guy's like, yes, sir. He like a little kid that got in trouble. It was hilarious. Oh man.
I still feel bad for Germany. Germany gets the Giants versus the Panthers. Woo. Why? Ooh. Yep.
Yeah, they better go find something to do in Dusseldorf and Nuremberg and Cologne, and maybe they can call the Rhine Fire or the what was the other world League of America EuroLeague football team named the Ryan Fire, the Cologne something others.
I can't.
Frankfurt Galaxy. Anyways,
Frankfurt Galaxy. There you go.
Oh my God, with the swirly logo and everything, jersey was ugly as hell. But with
I
that
think
being
B-Live
said,
has one of their jerseys.
he got a Frankfurt. With that being said, this has been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. And in closing, do something nice to yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They're greatly appreciated now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody affected by both hurricanes. And for everybody else, stay. Don't you dare go away. Be good. Be nice. See y'all next week. Be live. Take us home.
Yes, sir.
I'll have my computer together by next week. Bye, y'all. Take care. And thanks for watching and listening to the Sports Bros Podcast. I'm going to get up and walk out the scene, too. I can do that, too. Hit the button, be live. Nah.
Hey, it's Eddy Kool here from the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you for listening, and as always, continue to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Just click the link in the description box and keep up with the Sports Bros Podcast. And once again, thanks for listening.